Hello, humans. Welcome to episode 17 of Disney Channel Original Noobies. I'm Joanna.
And I am Sam. I just want to add also hello to all the animals out there. I know Joanna hates animals, so I'll say hi to them while Joanna only says hi to the humans. Oh, and also the aliens. Hi to the aliens as well. Just want to cover all my bases there.
Listeners, I can only describe my face as shock that Sam would ever say that I hate animals.
You get plants. You get plants and humans, and I get everything else, okay?
You don't even like big dogs. I like all dogs, and you only like small dogs. So
all dogs don't matter. I'll say it. I'm sorry, this isn't gonna work. This is gonna work. Anyway. So, Joanna, how you doing today?
I was doing all right, and then I was reminded that you don't like dogs, so now I'm doing terribly.
At least be fair, I don't like large dogs. I have 2 small dogs, so...
You call them puppies, and
right.
You say that all small dogs are puppies, and all large dogs are dogs, right. And you don't like dogs.
We have to make this clear for the audience. Puppies does not mean a young dog. It just means a small dog. And dogs are just big dogs. And that's how it works.
So Sam does not like dogs. I do like dogs.
But I do like puppies.
I also like puppies. I like puppies and dogs. So let's talk about Rip Girls.
Yeah, let's do that. So this movie, I think this is also 2000, right? It's one of the Y2K movies.
Still in 2000.
This movie is basically... So we've talked about Johnny Tsunami before. This is a Johnny Tsunami mixed with Brink and in like the opposite way, like going to Hawaii instead of going away from Hawaii.
Right. It was a unsatisfying Johnny Tsunami.
Whoa. Let's not get into what we thought about the movie yet.
Spoiler alert.
The premise is a girl named Sydney. Where did they live beforehand? Was it
Chicago?
Chicago, right.
Yeah.
Because I talk about the waves there. I don't know why.
And the lack of.
Yes. So a girl from Chicago moves with her dad and her stepmom to Hawaii because someone died. I don't really care who it was. It wasn't like someone close to her.
I think it was her grandmother.
I thought it was someone like way not attached to her, but there's no other family. But regardless, it doesn't matter. Someone in her family dies and owns a lot of land and like a plantation in Hawaii. And she has to decide, again, she's 13 years old. She has to decide what to do with the massive amount of land in Hawaii.
And part of the will was that in order to inherit the land, she had to physically go to Hawaii to claim it, to claim her inheritance.
Right.
And stay there for at least 2 weeks.
Yes. Because they thought that if she would experience being out there in Hawaii, she'd be less likely, I guess, to sell it and to keep it.
Right, or just to make an informed decision.
Yes,
and I don't know about you, but if I go somewhere for 2 weeks, I definitely know everything about that place and am well equipped to make large decisions.
Joanna, true or false? If you knew that you would have a ton of acres of land in the Azores, would you keep it or sell it?
I would keep it.
There we go. And that was only a week. So I guess it does work.
All right. Okay. Now, Sam, I have a legal question for you.
Awesome.
Would a 13-year-old legally be able to make this decision?
So I may have addressed that in my notes when it happened in all caps. I don't think a 13-year-old would be able to enter a legally binding agreement about what to do with a ton of land.
Okay. So I think we're done here.
Do you know why she won't be able to?
Because she's a minor?
Yeah, because she's a fucking child.
Yeah.
Because she's 13 years old. And she's not emancipated. She has parents. Yeah.
Okay. So we're done here.
That's a wrap.
Let's go to Hot
Seat.
Seat.
Movie. All right. So we kind of went over the beginning. So some stuff about Sydney specifically. She loves taking pictures. She's a photog. Photog is someone that takes pictures, right?
I think it's a photographer.
It's just short for photographer.
Sure.
I guess so.
Yeah, we'll go. Photog is slang for photographer.
Her mother is Hawaiian, but she passed away when she was super young. She doesn't remember her mom at all.
Right. The only mother she's known is her stepmom.
Who she calls mom, right.
Yes.
And like I said, went out to Hawaii, and she doesn't know that her mom was a surfer, but she finds a surfboard when she goes out to Hawaii, and she sees kids surfing and she kind of wants to get into surfing, or at least wants to do something more adventurous, because she's very not adventurous whatsoever and
She's very sheltered. Yeah, her dad is very overprotective.
Extreme.
Very overprotective.
Yes.
Her dad is overprotective.
I would say very.
Yeah.
I think you're right the first time. He's, very over the top and doesn't let her do anything at all, because we'll learn later why.
So we find out that her mom was a surfer, and then we learn a little bit more about her mom throughout the movie, and it just made me wonder how her mom and her dad ever got together.
I agree. We also find out her mom was a cutie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
From that one black and white photo of her.
Definite cutie. It was color.
Oh, it was color. I'm colorblind, so I don't know. But
oh yeah, everything is black and white to Sam.
I'm like a dog who can't see colors. I don't know what they had in common. I mean, obviously, he was probably more adventurous before she died, because that's what made him kind of nervous about these types of things.
So maybe that's the movie they should have made, how those two got together and how he ended up on Hawaii, because he didn't seem like he was from Hawaii.
No.
So how did they get together? How did they meet? What brought him to Hawaii? That's the movie I want.
And also,
not Rip Girls.
Speaking of what people look like and whether or not they're Hawaiian, where do you think the actress who played Sydney was from?
Originally?
What's her background?
I don't know. Indiana.
Indiana? Okay. She's Brazilian.
I was close.
Sao Paulo is very close to Terre Haute, Indiana. So you mentioned that she saw an old picture of her mother. Oh, she sees her with the surfboard. Or with a surfboard, right?
Think so?
Yeah.
At least she was wearing a bathing suit.
Yeah, whatever.
Something.
We have a lot of
ocean.
scenes. We also have a lot of scenes with her on a computer doing like Photoshop, which you got very offended by.
Oh my.
So she finds this surfboard in like a creepy shed, and you think like something's gonna scare her, right? It seems like something's gonna pop out.
Well, first, you are forgetting the most important part of this movie.
The cat?
The cat. She follows the cat.
The cat scares her first.
Yes. But then she follows it, and the cat leads her to the creepy shed where she finds her mother's surfboard. And then we never see the cat again.
Do you think the cat is the mom? It's
the
a
cat
metaphor.
Is the mom's spirit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's like Spirited Away. Except she turned into a cat and not pigs.
Pigs. Yes, that's exactly what's going on.
Okay.
But yeah, cat is the most important part of this movie. It's really the catalyst for everything.
Catalyst?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And then we never see the cat again. Just saying.
So she comes out with this surfboard. Also, she's being stalked. Someone's like
following her and watching her with binoculars.
Right. And we finally meet this girl, Gia. I think her name was, right?
Yes.
And she is around the same age as Sydney. And she's super into surfing. She has a ton of friends. And she brings Sydney down to the beach at some point. And Sydney just takes pictures of them surfing.
Gia runs into Sydney, sees her surfboard, asks Sydney if she surfs. And Sydney's like, yeah, I do. Kind of. Well, she kind of avoids saying yes directly.
Times. She loves lying, Sydney. It's like her number one pastime.
And then, apparently this surfboard is super sweet. And she brings it to the beach and she's like, I'm just going to watch. But yeah, I totally know how to surf.
Yeah.
And I thought this lie was going to get her in big trouble.
That she said she could surf?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's very funny that she even does it in the first place.
Yeah, because they don't care at all.
Yeah, and even the guy who was like, oh, what do you like doing? And she's like, yeah, I don't know. He's like, oh, I like short boards more than long boards. She's like, yeah, I think I like the long boards. He's like, well, you have one, so. But yeah, he doesn't care either. What's his name again? The guy?
Kona?
Kona. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, that entire plot point where she lies about it.
Doesn't matter
Yeah.
whatsoever.
She could have just told the truth
Yeah.
and it would have been fine.
It's very funny, though. And Kona's like, yeah, I don't care. It's fine if you don't surf.
Yeah.
It's totally understandable.
We're going to teach you.
You're from Chicago. And she very immediately clearly likes this guy, Kona. It's not clear that he likes her, but kind of giving off because he was like hanging out with her on the beach. So
Right. And I mean, later we find out from Gia that, yes, he does like her.
Right.
Confirmed.
How does this? So he's a broken arm. What was the point of his broken arm? Was it because he wasn't surfing?
Yeah. So he had to stay back on the beach with her.
Oh, okay. I mean, they could have done it in so many other ways, I feel, than him having a broken arm.
Whatever. Shows that he's a daredevil.
Yeah, I guess so. So they talk for a bit. Again, it's clear that she likes him and is trying to act cool in front of him. And she starts surfing the first time, right? That she goes down there?
Yeah, they kind of have her practice paddling on the beach for a short amount of time. And then they're like, all right, you're ready.
Yeah, like
let's go.
Probably like
let's surf.
20 minutes she starts doing that.
Yeah.
And she does like a decent job too the first time.
Oh, yeah. She stood up on the board.
Which is way more than I could do, I'm sure. The first time I tried it out.
Well, first you'd have to learn how to swim.
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I could float on the board, okay?
Okay, all right.
I'd be really good because I wouldn't want to fall off the board.
Oh, that's true. Your life literally depends on you
It's like when I would go whitewater rafting, and I was like, we're not flipping over. I'm telling you guys. I'm going to die if we do, so we're not flipping this raft over.
Everyone else flipped over, but we will not.
I went during summer camp, and I thought it was just like a chill thing. Like I thought there were some rapids, whatever. And they were like, yeah, like half of the rafts flip over at like this third point. And I was like, no, really? Is that serious? And like, yeah, like half of them fall over. And there was like 4 other rafts with us. The first 2 in front of us both flipped over. And I was like, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure this one does not flip over.
And that is when Sam found out that he literally has superpowers.
Yeah. I can make rafts not flip over while white water rafting.
Yeah. That's why they call you Raft Man.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really like the name, but it kind of stuck at this point.
Well, I mean, Anne Hathaway is trying to change her name, so you could change your name.
Is she really?
Not completely. I think she said she prefers Annie to Anne.
She preferred... Oh, I had no idea.
It's been all over Instagram.
Annie, like Annie?
Yes.
Interesting. I thought you were going to say like Annie, but just spelled the same way. Like Anne-E, like Wall-E.
Oh, that's so much better.
I'd never seen Wall-E.
It's so good.
Yeah, I know.
We should watch it.
Yeah, we should. We'll see.
All right. And after we're done with Wall-E, we'll think of a better superhero name for you.
Okay, that's fair. This scene I did not like, and I think I mentioned it to you when we were watching it. So she gets home, and she has a full conversation with her stepmom. We'll just call her mom. Whatever. Actually, stepmom kind of makes more sense because we'll mention the mom. A full conversation with her stepmom, and she's just wearing a towel the entire conversation.
It was so strange. And
for no reason.
Right. It shows that she took a shower when she got home, and she was coming out of the bathroom in the towel. But she could have just...
in the bathroom. Like, it doesn't matter.
She could have just been sitting in her room.
Right. With, like, her hair wet.
Yeah.
Or, like, a towel on her hair. In typical sitcom fashion, which is how you tell someone just showered.
Of course.
I didn't get it.
I didn't get it either. It
was
really
strange.
distracted me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did not like that.
Yeah. And their conversation was about, like, she's not pissed, but, like, she's like, why does dad treat me like a piece of glass? He never lets me do things, yada, yada, yada. Again, it's just he's very overprotective. Again, we'll get into it more.
It was checking off the parent-child talk.
And then the other part, well, I kind of mentioned this before, but so there's 2 realtors that are they're doing their best to try to sell the land. Obviously, they're going to make money off of it. So they want Sydney to accept some proposals. They show her a bunch of proposals for like resorts, hotels, stuff like that. And she has to decide whether or not to accept the proposals or not. This happens like 3 times throughout the movie. It's whatever. And
apparently she only has these 2 weeks to decide.
Right. And some of the companies are saying, hey, you've got like 3 days to accept this and stuff like that.
Which, I don't know, doesn't seem quite realistic to me.
We had that for buying houses.
Oh, that's true. But we weren't selling an island.
We weren't selling an island.
To my knowledge. To my knowledge.
I guess that's true. Mm-hmm. But what about an Animal Crossing?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
They build houses in one day on there.
Yeah. And a museum and stores.
There's a lot of montages in this movie. Definitely more than any other movie we've watched so far. There's at least 3 or 4 just surfing alone montages.
Yes, when we compile our montage of montages, Rip Girls will have...
It's half, I think.
At least.
She surfs. She goes the second time, like the next day, and she's able to surf. Like, fairly well. Pretty quickly.
She's a natural. It's in her blood.
Yes, and this is when you mentioned before about Kona, how... what's her friend's name? Gia tells her that Kona likes her. Yeah. So she's very giddy about that. And this is also when Sydney gets hurt surfing.
Oh, yeah. She
almost drowns and dies.
Yeah, she bangs her head. She passes out.
Underwater.
Yeah.
Which I've heard is not good to be passed out underwater.
You know what? Let me double check that. Beep,
okay.
Boop, boop, beep, 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 boop, boop. Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, you dial when you look things up on Google?
No, I was calling the library, Sam.
Oh, I thought we were going to do a phone call there.
I just did it. You weren't involved. This is a librarian to librarian phone call.
Okay. It's like a Minority Report situation where you just see it in front of you.
Yeah, that's why I was using my really futuristic technology that beeps really loud to check up on that fact.
And so Kona dives into the water to save her. She gets dragged up on the beach. She has a cut on her forehead. And she wakes up in a random woman's house, basically.
But we know that she's not a random woman. We know that it's Gia's mom because they say, let's take her to my mom.
Oh, I must have missed that. I was like, what the hell is going on now?
Yeah, I think Gia mentions that her mom was really good at healing people or first aid. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So this is where we meet Gia's mom. And isn't the cat there also?
I didn't see it, and I'm pretty sure I would have made a significant note.
Joanna, I think there was a cat there. I'm almost positive.
I don't know. If you look at the first page on my notes where the cat shows up, it says cat really big.
Okay, let's do this. I'll bet you $2 the cat was in this scene.
$2 whole?
Yeah, $2. Yes or no?
All right, I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in.
So $2 and whether or not the cat was there.
We'll put the answer to who won the bet in the show notes.
I'll brag about it in the next episode, so don't worry. So she wakes up. It's like a tiki hut, not really a house. And she's given
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
And she's given a drink by Gia's mother. Gia's mother was like Leia, something like that.
Malia?
I
think
Malele?
So. Malele.
Malele.
Yeah,
okay.
We'll go with that. No, I think it was Malaya.
And she basically says that she was friends with Sydney's mom.
Best friends.
Yes, and she reminds her of her mom. And also the surfboard was broken. She's like, I'll fix the surfboard. Don't worry about it. I got this.
And then Malaya, Gia's mom, drives Sydney back home. And her dad is not thrilled by the situation.
I would say I'd go as far as say he was peeved.
I think that's accurate.
He was PO'd.
He was PO'd.
Definitely PO'd.
So Sydney shows up with a nice big gash on her head, which now I think about it, did she have that gash for the rest of the movie? I feel like she didn't.
I don't recall her having it later on. She didn't get stitches, though, because I talk about her not getting stitches.
Yeah, but, I mean, she would still have some sort of mark.
Scar or something. Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, hi, Mark.
So, in addition to a natural surfer, Sydney's also a quick healer.
I think this is when... Oh, right. Then we have the dad. The dad's name is Ben. Ben and the mom...
The stepmom?
Stepmom.
I think her name is Elizabeth. Maybe?
No, I'm sorry. Ben fights with Leah, or Malia, or whatever her name is, about her being able to surf and do other things, whatever. So they get into a big fight about this. I think the stepmom's involved too. And Leah's like, stop shielding her and start healing. So clearly the dad isn't over the death of the mother yet.
Not only is he not over her death, but he hasn't even told Sydney what has happened.
Sydney has no idea.
She doesn't know really anything about her mother, which we kind of found out earlier when she was talking to her stepmom. But it really comes out how little she knows.
It seems like she hasn't even seen a picture of her mother. Because when she saw the picture there...
She was very excited that a picture existed.
That was bizarre.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. That was... So it's very strange that he's not over the mother, but yet never tells her anything about the mother.
And it's definitely putting a strain on his marriage.
Yes. Oh, and also, in true DCOM fashion, Sydney overhears this conversation.
Yeah, they are standing right outside her window, talking very loudly, and they don't realize that she can hear them.
Finally, I think it's the next day or a couple days later, I'm not really sure, Gia tells Sydney, like, oh, I think your mom was in an accident. I don't really know much about it, but that's just what I've heard. So this is the first time Sydney has any idea what happened to her mother. But still not, like...
Not full details.
No idea, like, what actually happened. Just, like, there was some sort of accident.
It's very vague, but way more than she had before. So she decides to talk to Malia to find out what happened.
Right. There's also some stuff with the realtor again. Who cares?
Yeah, it's going to be a resort.
Very boring
they're
stuff.
They're gonna kill the island and put up a sandals.
Wait, was this before or after they take the horses to the plantation? At some point,
yeah, I don't remember the exact order. But
ride on horses to a plantation, and it's just kind of spooky. And she finds her mother's room.
She thinks she finds her mother's room. She just walks into a room and goes, I think this was where she slept.
Was the cat there too?
I don't think so.
No, I'm just kidding.
I like how when Kona asks if she wants to go, he asks if she knows how to ride a horse, because apparently it's the only way to get there. It didn't look like they needed a horse to get there. It looked like they could
it was just a path. Yeah. Maybe it was pretty far, maybe. But he doesn't even say a horse. He's like, oh, can you ride?
She's like, ride a bike? Duh.
And then next thing you know, they're
ride
on
in
horses.
A car? Yeah, I know how to buckle a seatbelt.
Oh, and also, she had no problem with the horse. Again, a natural.
I think she made a uncomfortable face at some point.
Sure, but she got it up there. And she was fine. The kids end up going to some party, like a luau kind of thing. I assume every party in Hawaii is a luau. They go to a luau, and there's like a bonfire. There's people dancing. Johnny Tsunami's there. And there's people telling stories and eating weird food and stuff like that. It seemed like a pretty cool party.
This reminded me of Johnny Tsunami, not only because they talk about tsunamis, but they're having the party because the whales are coming in.
Yes.
Which they don't know exactly when it's going to happen. They just kind of know around the time of year that it's going to happen.
Right. It's the season for whales.
Yeah. And then they find out it's tonight.
Yep. Because of the full moon or something? Wasn't that involved?
I don't know. But then they have this giant, elaborate party.
Oh, okay. I think we're going to get to the whales. Don't get to the whales yet.
No. That's special.
It's a huge party.
Yeah, huge party that would have required, it seems like, a lot of planning.
Definitely.
Kind of like Johnny Tsunami when they have that pig roast, impromptu, hours-long pig roast.
What if they lost?
Yeah, what if they lost?
A losing luau? No way. Come on.
The pig roast is to make him feel better about himself. So yeah, really big party that couldn't have happened impromptu.
And we get to something that I think this is the first movie where this happens this early on in the movie, where Sydney and Kona, they kiss.
Yeah, adorable.
Pretty quickly into the movie.
Yeah. Sweet little kiss. I think that's the only time they kiss.
Yeah, definitely. But it was adorable.
Their love is cemented.
Yes. And now, finally, they go over to the beach and they go look out into the water. They're like, oh, let's look for the whales. And I want to say, a 1 billion-ton whale jumps out of the water fully, like into the sky, and splashes back into the water.
Yes. Except the only change I would make is that I would describe it as a big ass whale.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
A wet ass whale too.
Yeah. Yes. A big wet ass whale leaps out of the water,
Huge.
at least a mile out of the water,
Oh, it's so high. Yeah.
basically out of the atmosphere.
Yeah. It basically flew.
Yes.
Was there a movie with a flying whale?
Yeah, it's called Rip Girls.
Besides Rip Girls. There was maybe it was a TV show where a whale
I didn't watch it.
gets like launched into space and like lands on the moon or something. And the ending credits are
This
just
sounds like a Futurama kind of thing.
I was thinking Futurama, which is pretty funny. Whatever. Well, I'll figure it out. And it looks so realistic, this whale. Just
Not
incredible
at
CGI. And I think this is when Sydney talks to Malia. Just call her Malia from now on. Sydney talks to Malia about what happened to her mother.
Right. She was in a surfing accident. She was caught in the riptide, fell off her board. Did she hit her head?
I don't know.
Something like that. And Malia couldn't get to her in time.
So she was a Rip girl in the riptide, and then she became an RIP girl.
So meta. Yeah, so that is what happened to her mom. And her dad was there. It seemed like
I think her dad wasn't there. Like he wasn't surfing that day, but he like came to like look for her.
Okay.
Is what I think, because he kind of regretted not being there.
Okay, because he could have pulled a Kona and saved her.
Could have saved her.
Mm.
And then what happens next is very baffling to me. Is Sydney goes home and she has a picture of her mother, which she cherishes. She rips it up and is like furious at her mother for dying.
Yeah. It didn't make any sense. How dare you?
Like she's mad at her mom for basically going surfing. Yet Sydney, against what her dad says, keeps going surfing.
It really doesn't make any sense.
No. I was just so confused.
It's kind of a 13-year-old thing to do.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It was strange.
That part of the movie confused me.
Yeah, but whatever. Yeah, the ripping up the picture, I like gasped. I was like, what?
That's the only picture Sydney has of her mother. And she ripped it in half.
Yeah, I think she talks to her dad about it. I don't recall specifically. But at some point in time.
At some point in the movie, they do have a father-daughter talk, so that's also checked off. I don't remember what they talked about.
They go for a walk together. They talk about the mother. They talk about the property, what she wants to do with it, and things like that.
And the dad's, oh yeah, right.
And so he's like, can we stay in Hawaii? And dad's like, I don't know, do what do you want?
You're 13. You can decide what the family does.
Yeah. Simple as that. And then I think after they talk, that's when Sydney tapes the picture together and then does her Photoshop thing and fixes it up.
Oh, that Photoshop.
It was she also photoshops herself in the picture with her mom, which is kind of cute.
That is cute, which is possible in Photoshop, just not the way she did it.
How old do you think she was when her mom died? Like 5?
I was thinking she was like a baby. So
That's
maybe like a year old.
But wasn't there a picture of them together when she was like an infant or like older, like a child?
I don't think so. I don't remember that. There could have been, and I just didn't notice.
So at this point, I think they go back to the realtor's office. Oh, they go to the realtor's office in the morning and they like pop champagne and it cuts away before she signs anything. And then she goes to look for her friends on the island and they're like all ignoring her and pissed at her.
Yeah, there was a newspaper article that said that the resort was going to come to the island, and they're really upset because it's going to completely ruin their lives. It's going to upend, their homes, their surfing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I want to apologize. This is not when the champagne happens. This is later on. This is just in the paper that this might happen.
Oh,
and that's why they're ignoring her.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a luxury resort, and they're like, this sucks. The beach will be private. Like, we won't even be able to go surfing anymore.
And everything's going to be so developed and so touristy that the whales are going to be scared away.
A lot of shoobies there, which is terrible.
Shoobies?
They were from Rocket Power. Shoobies are people that like were tourists who like wore socks and sandals and stuff like that. You gotta watch out for the shoobies, okay?
That's great.
Yeah. There was a Sam in that show.
What was the girl's name?
I just remember Sam. Do you remember anyone else's name in that? Ollie?
No, I don't remember. I just remember they had that handshake where they go woogity woogity
Oh,
woogity.
of course.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best part. Right, so the news is out. So she goes to see Kona, and Kona's making a personalized surfboard for her with a picture of her and her mom
like
on
a,
it.
like a caricature.
Yes, right, because he
Yeah.
drew her. Right. A picture of her on the surfboard, which is
Yeah.
really, really cool.
It was.
One of the coolest things I've ever seen.
I mean, she does look like she's 30, but super nice.
So be it.
Yeah. A look into the future.
And Kona was saying that Gia was standing up for her when the rest of the friends were...
Putting her down because of this resort thing.
Right. And Sydney finds Gia at some beach where
Yeah,
Gia
it's
goes...
like her private place.
Exactly, her private beach. And Gia talks about how her dad abandoned her and that she was mad about the resort, but that she became her friend. So what really comes out here is that her
Ulterior motive.
yes, was to become friends with Sydney so that she wouldn't want to sell the plantation to make a resort there. And she thought that, hey, you know, if we acted like her friend, if we helped her out and made her enjoy her stay here, maybe she won't want to sell the place.
And Sydney feels very used, understandably. And Gia is trying to tell her, you know, yeah, that's how it started, but I actually like you. I actually like being friends with you. And this is the one line where Gia's like, you lied about knowing how to surf.
Yeah, that was stupid. Like, who cares at that point? And yeah, it's a huge fight. Also, there's like 10 minutes left in this movie when this happens.
Yeah, so all the conflict is in the last 10 minutes.
Yes. So they get into a big fight. Gia says that Sydney looked like a fool when she was surfing.
Which, yeah, she was
It's her first time.
just learning how to surf.
And that the whole... Oh, she also says the thing with Kona was totally a setup. That he didn't actually like her.
Which is devastating for Sydney.
Does she even know that they kissed? I'm assuming they do. She does somehow.
It was
I don't
pretty
know.
public.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. So they get a huge fight, and she storms off, and they go their separate ways. And Sydney's pissed off.
Yeah, they're both pissed off. Then does Sydney go to see Malia?
I think this is when they go to the realtor. Yes. They go to this is the next day. They go to the realtor, they pop champagne, or apple cider. They pop apple cider.
Yeah, she's only 13, folks.
She doesn't drink any of it anyway. And this is where I wrote, never, comma, too young, exclamation point. Not to be confused with never too young. Never, comma, too young. Contingency? No. Cash now.
Wait till she's 18? Too long.
And they're like, here, sign it. We'll have the resort come here. And she's like ready with her like fountain pen. It was ridiculous. She's ready to sign it. And it cuts away. And also she sees her friends outside. Or some kids outside in like a bus, whatever.
Oh yeah, she's gazing out the window, and it's
Yeah.
like that's the moment where she decides that no, she is not going to sell the island.
But you don't know this at this point. You assume it.
You assume it.
Because you don't see her sign the paper. When you don't see a character die on screen, it means they're probably not dead. Unless it's Bambi's
I
mother.
was going to say, unless it's Jon Snow. In which case, you do see him die on screen, but he's still not
so that's
dead.
the opposite. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. Game of Thrones spoiler.
Oh, yeah. We'll throw it in before.
Yeah.
We'll bleep it all out
Yeah.
in post. And so she goes to find her friends to talk to them. This is what she talks to Malia about her mother, what she's going to do. She doesn't really explain what her decision is to Malia. At least we don't see that on screen. And Malia gives her the locket with her and her mother in it.
Oh, is this where you thought you saw the picture with Sydney and her mom?
Yes. That was it.
Yeah, she was a little bit older, but maybe like 3?
Yeah, something like older than I thought she would have been. I thought she
Yeah.
was like 6 months old.
Yeah, but still too young to really have memories.
Right, exactly. So that's when she gets the locket, which is really cute. And then Sydney finds Kona, and they're like, where's Gia? Where's Gia? We can't find her. And they freak out immediately. They're like, let's go
We have
search
to
all
find
over
her.
the island for Gia.
And then Sydney kind of has an idea because now she knows where Gia's secret spot is to go to think. So they go there.
They go separately, Sydney and Kona.
I thought they went there together, but then they split up.
Oh, maybe that's what it
once
was,
they
because it's
get
a bigger
there.
area. Okay.
Yeah.
And she sees her clothing on like the shore. She sees a surfboard floating. She's like,
Broken surfboard.
oh no, this is not good.
And then she sees Gia's arm thrashing in the water, and Sydney goes out to save her.
And she does a damn good job of it.
Yeah, she does. She pulled a Kona.
And like the waves were like super harsh too.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Pretty frightening.
There was a surfboard involved. I think
She lays on it to like hold on to the surfboard,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. She pulled out Gia's surfboard that
floats.
had washed up on the shore.
Yeah.
That's what happened. I was trying to remember if she brought her own surfboard for some reason.
No, I think it was Gia's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she holds on to that to help her out. And she saves Gia's life, just like Gia saved hers earlier on in the movie.
Well, no, Kona saved her life earlier on.
Yeah,
in
but I
the
think
movie.
Gia helped out too. Wasn't she involved?
She helped.
She watched.
Yeah.
She supervised.
Yeah, she's like, "Good job, Kona. Bring Sydney's body over there.
Yes, exactly.
I get a raise now." And then, all right, so Gia is safe. Sydney has saved her
Kona
life.
comes over.
Kona comes over, and then Sydney pulls the contract out of her backpack and is like, "Look, I didn't sign it."
Oh, she carries his backpack everywhere throughout the entire movie.
Well, it has her camera in it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And Kona says that he actually likes Sydney, which is cool.
And Gia confirms and admits that when she said that Kona didn't like Sydney, that was a lie.
Right. Oh, and they also, she's going to stay in Hawaii too. Not only are they not going to sell the land, they're going to stay in Hawaii.
Her parents are going to uproot their lives. Her dad is going to find some teaching job on Hawaii. I don't remember what her mom does.
They talk about like an accountant. I don't know. Something
But,
silly.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. They'll find jobs. It's fine.
I think
They own an island now.
Yeah, of course. They also talk about how, well, Sydney talks about how she knows that her mom is like watching over her.
Through the cat.
Of course, through the cat. And she takes a bunch of surfing pics of people surfing. Very funny pics. And that's how it ends, with her taking pictures of people surfing.
It ends the same way it began,
With pictures.
of surfing.
Yeah. So yeah, that was Rip Girls.
We did it. So, well, first, remind me, was this a movie that you watched when you were younger?
I don't recall specifically. I mean, some parts kind of jog my memory a tiny bit, but I'm not entirely sure if I've seen this one before.
Okay.
Maybe my first time.
So, for what may or may not have been your first time watching, what were your thoughts?
I didn't really care for it. It was fine. It was somewhat entertaining. It's just a really worse version of Johnny Tsunami with less going on. A lot of surfing montages. Didn't really get into like stuff about her mother that much. I mean, they could have done different things with it, but yeah, it was fine. But that's about it. What did you think? Yeah,
I wasn't even going to say it was fine. I didn't really care for this movie.
It was a movie.
It was certainly a movie. That is a fact. Yeah, I didn't think the plot was strong. I did not think the acting was strong.
The acting was not good.
It was, I would even say it was bad.
Yeah. And it wasn't funny at all.
No.
The entire movie. Nothing was funny.
I just, there wasn't really anything. You could have watched this movie 5 times, and if you didn't remember it, I wouldn't have blamed you because nothing really memorable
That's
happened.
true. Yeah, certainly. Like Alley Cat Strike was so much more memorable than this movie.
Yeah, I feel like maybe Disney Channel just had such success with Johnny Tsunami that they thought, let's do another surfing movie.
Yeah.
But we'll do it with girls this time. But they just didn't put the effort in because it could have been a really cool movie.
Definitely. Yeah, it could have been like, I'm trying to think like a movie sort of like
New
that.
girl
Like, I don't
comes
know.
to town, learns to surf, and learns a mystery about her mother.
Yeah, I think a lot of the actors and actresses, it was like their first or like only movie they were really in, is my guess. Like the main girl's in a bunch of other stuff, but the other ones like didn't even have like links or anything to click on their names.
Yeah. I mean, there were just so many things in this movie that were unnecessary.
I agree. So, can't win them all, you know?
Yeah.
Let's get into our questions. I'll start,
Okay.
unless you want to start.
You can start. You seem really excited about it.
Okay. Who would you most want to hang out with from this movie?
I think Gia and her mom.
I also put Gia's mom, but not Gia.
I think Gia, she seemed pretty cool. I
Yeah,
mean,
she's
other than,
fine.
you know, the start where she was only hanging out with Sydney to
Yeah.
convince her to not sell. But she seemed like a cool person.
Easygoing for the most
Yeah,
part.
definitely easygoing, and I relate to that. And yeah, her mom was also very cool,
Yeah.
easygoing.
I like the mom. She didn't do
yeah.
anything wrong during this movie. She called people out on their bullshit, and she helped her out when she was dying. So she did
Yeah,
a good job.
that was great. And, you know, she seemed like a responsible parent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And she had a cool hut.
Definitely a cool hut.
So
And she knows how to fix her floors.
I'm glad we're on the same page about Gia's mom, at least.
Yeah.
All right. What's your question you want to start with?
Who would you ship?
This might be controversial. But Gia's mom
Okay.
and Sydney's dad.
Interesting.
Yeah. I feel like they could have had a connection if he wasn't.
Married?
I think that marriage is going to end rather soon.
It seemed like they were making up towards the end.
Maybe living in Hawaii, things will change and he'll get more over. He clearly still wasn't over the mother, obviously.
Yeah. And the stepmom does make a good point at some point during the movie when they're arguing. And
Oh, yeah.
she
This
says,
was
like,
good.
you know, if it was another woman, I would know how to react. But
I'd cut
I can't.
that bitch.
Yeah.
I'd fight her.
Yeah, that's literally what she
But I
says.
can't fight a
cut
ghost.
That bitch. Yeah, she says, how can you compete with a dead woman? But I do think that they were stronger towards the end of the movie.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
in the last scene, one of the last scenes, and they're, you know, decked out in Hawaiian clothes. They're definitely embracing Hawaii.
Finally, yes.
Yeah.
He could open up finally. Get
Yeah.
over it.
The Hawaiian shirt symbolizes that.
So who did you have for shipping?
Kona and
His cast.
his skateboard.
That's pretty close. But what if he wants to go surfing? Is that cheating now?
No, they're in an open relationship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess skateboards are pretty open. So
Yeah,
That makes
they're
sense.
they seem to have a connection.
what was your favorite scene?
The whale jumping out of the water
I also had that.
and the cat.
Okay. I
Yeah.
said the whale because it's so realistic.
What would you have changed?
So I have two. One is that I wish the conflict happened earlier on. Because it was literally like, it was at most 10 minutes left in the movie when they had that
Right.
fight. And the second thing, I wish there was a ghost mom.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. Just some sort of ghost mom at some point. I don't really care how they did it. Just a ghost mom.
With the cat.
Yes, but like a ghost mom.
The
Like Bill Cosby's ghost dad, but ghost mom. What was yours?
I just wanted the acting to be better. It really
Irked you?
it did irk me. It distracted me from the movie. I kept thinking, like, this is just not good. And it wasn't even just the kids, it was the adults in the movie too.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean,
it wasn't
no one, yeah.
it wasn't like,
Gia's
oh,
mom
this
was
is their
fine, I
first.
thought.
Yeah. But
The
pretty
dad
much
wasn't great.
No.
The mom was okay. The stepmom, she was fine. But yeah, the acting was not good.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like a this is their first movie kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't
It
know.
was
It was bizarre.
yeah, it was just not good. Not good.
Made me think of The Room at sometimes. Which that was good. But
Lisa, you're tearing us apart.
all right, so let's do hot seat now. So mine's a pretty easy one. So I'll let you off the hook here.
Okay. 12. 42.
That's
answer.
a little high.
Okay.
If you were in Sydney's position, what would you have done?
Waited until I was 18 and legally allowed to sign some paperwork, and at that point I would have been on the island for
6
several
years,
years.
yeah.
And been able to make a
5.
more adult decision.
Okay.
That's what I would have done.
That's a fair answer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What would you have done?
I would stay on the island because it's Hawaii. It
Yeah.
seems cool to live in Hawaii than Chicago.
Yeah, definitely.
A little bit warmer.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
But would you have stayed on the island as it is or as a resort?
Probably as it is, because I feel like as a resort, or maybe they sold part of it to have some money in my pocket.
Like the far side of the island away from the
no
whales?
one goes, the bad area. Yeah. Definitely.
Good call.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's my hot seat question, which is epic.
Can't wait. Like Homer?
Absolutely.
Did he write epics? I don't know.
The Odyssey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got it.
There you go. I know a book.
I know things. Okay, so my question. Would you like to learn how to surf if you already knew how to swim?
I feel like every episode you mention that I can't swim, and I hate it.
At this point, I just have to.
Definitely, yeah. I think surfing's really cool. I would love to learn how to surf
Okay.
if I knew how to swim. It seems really chill, except we went down to Long Beach, and those guys were surfing, and it was like literally like 2-foot waves.
Yeah. They weren't surfing. They were just sitting
chilling.
on their
That was
surfboards
so
in the
funny.
water,
They're like
staring out the
like
ocean.
for 4 hours, just chilling.
Yeah, I did not see anyone actually able to get up.
Although that's pretty chill too.
Yeah, that sounds.
As long as like the
kind of
water's
relaxing.
warm. Yeah. I definitely would.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know how to swim. Would you want to surf?
Yeah, I would try to learn.
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
not? Besides dying, what's the downside?
I mean, Sydney and Gia both made it out alive, so it's fine.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Barely.
But they did.
Almost 3 deaths in this movie. Well, 1 referred to in the movie, but almost 2 other deaths in this movie of children.
Wow, that's rough.
Yeah. It's a
In
shame.
2 weeks?
It's a shame they made it.
Two almost deaths
Yeah.
in 2 weeks.
Very quick turnaround.
Yeah.
But so
All right. Anyway,
some fun facts about this movie. They're not really that fun, but just some
like
things
the
I
movie,
found.
Yes, it's thematic.
It's very in line with the movie. The first is this movie was filmed in
Hawaii.
Australia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I said New South Wales. So I thought that was interesting. The second, which is very in line with this movie, is that it was not released on VHS or DVD.
I wonder why.
So I guess it just wasn't released at all
It was just on.
on Disney Channel, I guess.
Okay.
You would think they'd have at least you could buy it, but no.
At least the VHS.
I wonder what it would cost to buy all these movies, at least the ones that are available.
We should look it up.
It'd be thousands upon thousands of dollars.
Either that or it'll be like $30 and call it a day.
Because wasn't it? No, because like one of the last ones we watched, it was like $90 or like
Oh,
$60
right.
on VHS.
I
was
forgot.
like, who is buying this still?
So it's either going to be like $100 to buy the movie or 50 cents to buy the movie, depending on the movie.
Insane how expensive it was. Yeah, the director and producer and writer all, I mean, they wrote other things, but nothing of note. Like we said, came out in 2000. I think it was like March 2000, something like that. And that's pretty much it. I've got nothing else with this movie.
Well, then let's go to the Alexis Bledel test.
Of course. And in this movie, there's no one in common except that one producer guy who's been in every single Disney movie so far and Gilmore Girls. And that's it.
Okay, so for the next one, should we just say if that particular producer is in, it doesn't count? Because it seems like he just produces everything.
I mean, I would say this one does not count because I think he's just a guy.
This movie does not pass the Alexis Bledel test.
Unfortunately.
Do you think I think it passes the Bechdel test.
I think if 2 girls talk about another woman, it passes, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so definitely.
Yeah,
Talk
so
about her
they
mother.
spend a lot of time talking about her mother.
Yeah, definitely. When she's with Gia's mom, same thing.
Yeah.
So,
and
definitely.
I mean, some of the time where Sydney and Gia are talking, they're talking about Kona, but a lot of the time they're talking about the island and surfing and the resort.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
So it passes the Bechdel test, but not the Alexis
With flying
Bledel
colors,
test.
yes. But not the other one, unfortunately. All right. So,
Not the one that matters.
And so your prediction for this movie
Was way off.
was more or less that there were 2 girls who didn't like each other, which is right at some aspect of this movie at one point in time.
At the
for
conflict
2
that
minutes,
happens 10 minutes
for a
before
2-minute
the end
period
of
of
the
time,
movie.
they didn't like each other.
Yeah.
So there's two girls that are living in the same town.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like each other, and then a third girl moves in. That part's also right.
Yeah,
a girl
the
does
girl
move
moves
in,
in.
and those two girls don't like the new girl, so they team up because I think he says an enemy of my enemy is my friend. So they team up to not like that third girl.
Yeah, that was my prediction.
Nice.
Yeah. One could say that individual parts of it were kind of true at points, which we just said, but it just wasn't right. It was not right.
Isn't it? I forget who said this, but every story is either a new guy comes to town or a person leaves to go somewhere else. Isn't that?
I'm sure that's a thing.
I think I heard that somewhere. Or it's like a journey to go a different place.
Like the hero's journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not always a hero, but I don't know. The more I think about it, maybe Sydney was a hero. She did save someone's life, so.
She did.
All right. So the next movie, are you ready for this? For your prediction time?
I don't think I'll ever be as ready as I was for Don't Look Under the Bed.
I know. That's unfortunate. You reached your peak too soon.
I did.
But
no regrets, though.
So this one is called Miracle in Lane 2.
Okay. So this makes me think that it's going to be some sort of sports competition. My mind immediately went to track, but I feel like it's probably not a running movie. We already had a bowling movie, Bowling Lanes.
We've also had two surfing movies.
We did have two surfing movies, so I guess it,
I've seen this movie, so I won't give you any hints.
Okay. I mean, it could be another bowling movie.
So we'll start. What sport?
Well, that's what I'm trying to decide.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking maybe horse racing.
You have 10 seconds to decide a sport.
Oh, God, that's
10,
not enough time.
9.
No,
8,
we're going to pause.
7,
Pause the recording so I have
6,
more time.
5.
Oh,
4.
I don't know. Swimming. It's a swimming movie.
Okay.
Yeah, swimming in lane 2.
Okay.
And it's a miracle because lane 2 isn't really a great lane. The outside lanes aren't great. So if
Is
you're
that
in
real
lane
for
2,
swimming?
Yeah, because they put the faster people in the middle. And
You want to be in
guess,
the middle.
Yeah, you want to be in the
okay.
middle. Yeah, because
like waves and
Yeah,
stuff. Okay.
yeah.
That makes sense. So
I learned that from watching the Olympics.
of course.
So I'm an expert in swimming because
Did you hear about one of the
I
Olympic
watched the
guys
Olympics.
stormed the Capitol? A guy that won a silver or gold for the USA was one of the people that stormed the
A
Capitol.
swimmer?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was Ryan Lochte.
So that was the thing. It made Brian Lochte look so much better now. Now he's like a good guy.
So I did not know that, but I knew it was Ryan Lochte.
It wasn't him.
Oh, it wasn't him.
Yeah, no,
I
it
thought
makes
you said
him,
it was
it makes
him.
him look better now.
Oh, because it wasn't him.
Yeah.
And people would assume that it was him.
Right, exactly.
I know it wasn't Michael Phelps. He's an
No,
American
he's
treasure.
a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Okay, so protagonist male or female?
All right. So let me think back to what we just. This one was female. The one before was male. What was before Alley Cat Strike?
Okay, so before Alley Cat Strike was Up and Away. So that was
Okay,
a
that was
male.
male.
Then Horse Sense, male.
Also male.
Don't Go Under the Bed, male. No, female. Female.
With strong male presence.
Genius, male. Johnny Tsunami, male. Smart House, male. So.
All right. So part of me
Oh,
thinks...
also this Color of Friendship. That was in there somewhere, too.
Yeah, that was...
that was one of the recent ones, yeah.
Yeah, that was before Alley Cat Strike?
Yes.
Was that
And
Up
after
and Away,
Yep,
Color
yep,
of Friendship, Alley Cat Strike?
So the last three were male, female, male.
So part of me thinks that it should be female, but then most of them seem to be male. So keeping with that trend, I'm going to guess it's a male protagonist.
Okay. They swim in lane 2, which is the harder one. I won't ask
It's an underdog
they're always the
story.
same age. They're always the same age, so it's not even worth asking that.
It's an underdog story.
How is their family? Wait, I got a better question. I'll be more specific. 2 parents?
Yes.
Is one a step parent?
No.
Okay. 2 birth parents
Yeah.
raising the child,
The swimmer.
the boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Any famous people in this movie?
that producer produces it.
Any famous actors?
No.
Okay.
I mean, maybe like a D-list actor.
like more famous than this one we just watched.
Well, that's really easy to accomplish.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, someone more famous than any of the actors in Rip Girls.
But not as famous as George Jefferson.
Or Kaylee Cuoco. and there's going to be a miracle.
What?
And that miracle is going to take place in lane, maybe lane 3,
you're so
maybe
close.
lane 4.
You got this.
Come
on, Johnny, you got this.
2. It's going to take place in lane 2.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a good guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So that's my prediction. A miracle is going to happen in lane 2.
All right. So we'll see when we watch the next one. Anything else you want to inform our dear audience about before we go?
I really hope that the next movie is better than this movie.
I'm going to say it will be.
Okay.
But we'll see.
I'm going to hold you to that. I do want to remind our audience that we can be found on social media, on Instagram at Disney Channel Original Noobies. So at the name of the podcast.
Yes.
And if you have any thoughts, if you have any feelings, if you just want to, open up, you can email us. Sam, what's our email?
DCONoobies@gmail.com. Any questions you have, any comments, you want to say how good of a host we both are, we accept any of those.
Yeah. You should also leave those positive reviews on the podcast. Give us 5 stars.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
If you have any comments about dogs versus puppies.
Oh, definitely. Oh, send us puppy pictures, please.
If a hot dog's a sandwich.
If a taco's a sandwich.
I mean, come on. That's too easy.
If a hot dog's a sandwich, is a taco a sandwich?
Of course.
Okay.
They're both sandwiches.
Okay. What?
Bye-bye.